Good afternoon, students. On behalf of the Department of Earth and Environment Science, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, I extend a warm welcome to you all to today's teleconference. Today's programs focuses on important and impactful topic, that is natural resource management and sustainable development. This topic is part of Geography syllabus 3rd year 6th semester of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. To discuss this topic with you all, today we have two distinguished guests and subject experts in this matter with us in this studio to discuss this teleconference lecture. Subject expert number 1 is Professor Srinagesh sir, Senior Professor and BOS Department of Geography, Osmania University. He will join us very shortly. And expert number 2 person, resource person, Dr. G. Ambedkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Earth and Environment Sciences, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Dr. G. Ambedkar sir has more than 5 years of teaching and research experience in the field of geography, is an upcoming academician, teaching academician in the field of geography. He completed his PhD in geography from the Osmania University. As we know that today topic is natural resource management and sustainable development. Dear students, please note that program schedule first. This program consists of duration is 60 minutes. In that 60 minutes, 40 minutes, the two subject experts will discuss about this topic in English and Telugu for the 40 minutes, and after 40 minutes we will have interaction session with students and viewers. You can ask the questions while during this session. You can note down your doubts and ask after starting our discussion session. So please note down our phone number. Please call on this number 040-23-680-456. I repeat once again, 040-23-680-456 for interacting with experts. Please dear students, ensure your doubts, whatever doubts you have, please ask doubts relevant to the topic only, that is natural resources management and sustainable development. Before begin today's teleconference, let me briefly introduce the subject, natural resources management and sustainable development. Before we discuss about this topic, what is natural resources, why we need management for this natural resources, and what is sustainable development, what is the relation between the natural resource management and sustainable development. So each part we should to learn, and we should to explore each and every aspect of this subtopics. Natural resources. What are the natural resources? Natural resources are like land, water, forests and minerals, which are naturally occurring to the human beings, are called natural resources. What is natural resource management? How we utilizing these natural resources without exploiting, without damaging to the environment, is a process of management, natural resource management process. And what is the sustainable development? What sustainable development is nothing but we are taking the requirements of present generations without compromising the needs of the future generations. So the development should be there, but development should be in the view of present generation along with the future generations. So that is the development called sustainable development. So how natural resources are managed for a sustainable development and sustainable future for the future generations. Now we have our expert Dr. G. Ambedkar sir. Sir will, for the convenience of Telugu medium students, sir will inform you all the things about sustainable development, natural resources and management in Telugu. Okay. Welcome to the studio sir. Welcome to the session.
Thank you Subhash. ప్రియమైనటువంటి విద్యార్థులారా, ఈరోజు మనం బిఏ జాగ్రఫీ 3వ సంవత్సరం 6వ సెమిస్టర్లో సహజ వనరుల నిర్వహణ మరియు సుస్థిర అభివృద్ధి అనేటువంటి అంశం గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకోబోతున్నాం. అసలు సహజ వనరులు అంటే ఏంటి? మానవ సమాజానికి ప్రకృతి పరంగా ఉన్నటువంటి గాలి, నీరు, భూమి, గనులు ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఉచితంగా ప్రకృతి మనకు ఉచితంగా ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఈ యొక్క బహుమతులుగా మనం భావించవచ్చు. ఈ ప్రకృతి పరంగా మనకు లభించినటువంటి బహుమతులను మనం ఎంత కాపాడుకుంటే అవి మనల్ని అంత కాపాడుతాయి అనడంలో, అదేవిధంగా ఈ సహజ వనరులలో ముఖ్యంగా 2 రకాలుగా మనం వర్గీకరించుకోవచ్చు. మనను వాడిన కొద్దీ అవి ఉండి మళ్ళీ పెంపొందించుకోవచ్చు. కొన్ని సహజ వనరులు అయితే మనం వాడుతూ ఉంటే అవి తరిగిపోతాయి, మళ్ళీ అవి తిరిగి మనకు అందివ్వవు. సో అలాంటి 2 రకాల వనరులు ఉన్నాయి. సో మనం ప్రధానంగా సహజ వనరులలో తిరిగి రానటువంటి ఏమిటంటే భూ అంతర్భాగంలో ఉన్నటువంటి గనులు, బొగ్గు, పెట్రోలియం లాంటి ఇవి మనం ఎంత వాడుతూ ఉంటుంటే అంత తరిగిపోతాయి. తత్ఫలితంగా ఆ ప్రాంతంలో భూ అంతర్భాగంలో గొయ్యిలాగా మారి భూకంపాలకు వచ్చేటువంటి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. సో మనం దాన్ని పరిమితంలో ఉపయోగించుకొని గనులను, సహజ వనరులను కాపాడుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంటుంది. అదేవిధంగా మనం వాడిన కూడా మన పునరుత్పత్తి చేసుకునేటువంటి మళ్ళీ కొన్ని వనరులు ఉన్నాయి. అందులో ప్రధాన నీరు, సౌరశక్తి అండ్ అడవులు. నీరు అనేటువంటిది మనం పరిమితంగా ఆడుకోవాలి. మనం గతంలో పూర్వం చూసినట్లయితే జనాభా తక్కువ ఉండే, భూమి ఎక్కువ ఉంటుండే. ఇప్పుడు జనాభా ఎక్కువైంది, భూమి తక్కువైంది. ఎందుకంటే జనాభా మొత్తం కూడా భూమిని ఆక్యుపై చేసుకొని దాన్ని వాడుతూ ఉన్నారు కనుక మనకు తక్కువ ప్లేస్ ఏర్పడింది. ఎక్కువ జనాభా పెరగడం వల్ల నీటి వినియోగం కూడా ఎక్కువ పెరిగింది. నీటి వినియోగం పెరిగిన తర్వాత ఈ నగరీకరణ రావడం వల్ల, పారిశ్రామిక వ్యవస్థ రావడం వల్ల నీటి వినియోగం అవి భూమిలోకి సింక్ కాకుండా అవి ఆవిరైపోతున్నాయి తప్ప సింక్ కావడం లేదు. తత్ఫలితంగా భూ అంతర్భాగంలో ఉన్నటువంటి వాటర్ సోర్స్ అనేది తగ్గుతూ ఉంది. అదేవిధంగా మనం అడవుల గురించి తెలుసుకుందాం. అడవులు అనేటువంటిది మనకు ప్రకృతి పరంగా ఇచ్చినటువంటి వనరులు. సో అడవులను మనం ఎంత కాపాడుకుంటే ప్రకృతి వాతావరణం కూడా మనం అంత మంచిగా కాపాడుకున్నటువంటి వాళ్ళం అవుతాం. ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో మనం అడవులను, చెట్ల సంఖ్య తక్కువ చేయడం వల్ల, అంటే మనకు స్వలాభాపేక్షనే కానీ, స్వంత ప్రయోజనాల కోసమే కానీ, మరి ఇతర కారణాల వల్ల మనం చెట్లను నరకేయడం వల్ల ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో అనేక రకాలైన ఫ్లడ్స్ వచ్చినటువంటి మనం చూసి ఉన్నాం. తత్ఫలంగా మానవాళి ఎంతో కూడా నష్టం పొంది ఉన్నది. అదేవిధంగా మనం సౌరశక్తి అనేటువంటి దానివల్ల మనం ఈ భూ అంతర్భాగంలో ఉండే బొగ్గును తగ్గించి సౌరశక్తి ద్వారా మనం పవర్ని జనరేట్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే మనం ఆ వనరులను కూడా కాపాడుకున్నటువంటి వాళ్ళం అవుతాం. సమాజాన్ని మనుగడలో మనం ఇంకా కొంచెం పెంపొందించుకున్నటువంటి వాళ్ళం అవుతాం. ఈ యొక్క సహజ వనరులలో సూర్యశక్తి, సౌరశక్తి ఈ 2 ప్రధానంగా మనం ఎంతైనా ఉపయోగించుకోవచ్చు. దీనివల్ల ఎలాంటి తరుగుదల ఉండదు, దీన్ని కాపాడుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. అదేవిధంగా ఖనిజాలలో అనేక రకాలైనటువంటి భూ అంతర్భాగంలో ఉన్నటువంటి ఖనిజాలను మనము వాటి ఎంత మేరకు తగ్గించుకోగలిగితే అంత మంచిది. దాన్ని విరివిగా ఉపయోగించుకోవాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం లేదు. ఇది సహజ వనరుల గురించి. అదే సుస్థిర అభివృద్ధి అనేటువంటిది మన ఏ వనరులు అయితే ఉన్నాయో దాన్ని అభివృద్ధి చెందించుకోవడం కోసం. సుస్థిర అంటే మన అవసరం తీరాలి, తర్వాత భవిష్యత్తు తరాలకు కూడా అవి ఉపయోగపడాలి. అడవులు అపరిమితమైనటువంటి చెట్లను నరికేసి దాన్ని ఆ స్థానంలో మనం వేరే చెట్లు పెట్టడమా, లేకపోతే మరీ ప్రాత్యామ్నాయటువంటి మార్గాలు ఎంచుకోవడమా? అంటే ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇప్పుడు వుడ్ తోటి అనేక రకాలైన చెక్క పరికరాలు చేసుకుంటాను. దాని ప్రదేశంలో మనము వేరే ఐరన్లే కానీ వేరే ప్రాత్యామ్నాయటువంటి మార్గాన్ని ఎంచుకొని చెట్ల సంఖ్యను, వుడ్ సంఖ్యను తగ్గించుకోవాల్సినటువంటి అవసరం ఉంది. అడవులను కాపాడినట్టయితే అడవి మనల్ని కాపాడుతూ ఉంటుంది. అదేవిధంగా నెక్స్ట్ మట్టి, భూమి అనేది ప్రధాన పాత్ర వహిస్తుంది వనరులలో. ఈ భూమి మనం ప్రకృతి ఇచ్చినటువంటి విధంగా మనం ప్రతిదీ కాపాడుకోవాలి. ప్రకృతి మీద ఏ విధంగా మనం స్వప్రయోజనాలకు అధికంగా వాడుకున్నట్లయితే వరదలు ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో సందర్భానుసారంగా కాకుండా వర్షాకాలం రావాల్సిన వర్షాలు ఎండాకాలం వస్తున్నాయి, ఎండాకాలం కొట్టాల్సిన ఎండలు వర్షాకాలం కొడుతున్నాయి. ఈ అన్నిటికీ కారణం వాతావరణ ప్రభావం అనేది ఆ విధంగా చూపుతుంది. కనుక ఇప్పుడు వరదలు వచ్చినప్పుడు మట్టి మీద ఉన్నటువంటి పై లేయర్, ఆ లేయర్ పోవడం ముఖ్య కారణంగా ఆ చెట్లు రావాల్సిన పోషక లవణాలు అందకపోవడంతో ఆ చెట్లు సరైనటువంటి దిగుబడి లేక అదొక నష్టం ఏర్పడుతూ ఉంది. అదేవిధంగా మనం భూమిని కాపాడుకునేలో అనేక రకాల పంటలకు పెస్టిసైడ్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఆ పెస్టిసైడ్స్ యూజ్ చేయడం వల్ల ఆ పంటలు అధిక దిగుబడి వస్తుంది, కానీ ఆ భూమి యొక్క సారవంతత పోతుంది. తత్ఫలితంగా సారవంతత పోయి అధిక దిగుబడి వచ్చి దిగుబడి తీసుకున్నటువంటి ధాన్యం వల్ల మనుషులు క్యాన్సర్ లాంటి ప్రమాదకరమైనటువంటి అనారోగ్య పరిస్థితులు ఎదుర్కోక తప్పట్లేదు. అదేవిధంగా వాతావరణ మార్పులు అనేటువంటిది మనం ప్రకృతిని ఏ విధంగా కాపాడితే మనల్ని ఆ విధంగా కాపాడుతుంది. ఈ విధంగా మనం గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్ చూస్తున్నాం. అదేవిధంగా మన దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి దేశ సరిహద్దులో ఉన్నటువంటి హిమాలయ పర్వతాలు తరిగిపోవడం గల కారణం అధికమైనటువంటి గ్లోబల్ వార్మింగ్, అధికమైనటువంటి కాలుష్యం వల్లనే ఇలాంటి సమస్యలు ఉన్నాను. అదేవిధంగా సుస్థిర అభివృద్ధి గురించి ఇంకా మరికొన్ని విషయాలు మనం ఇప్పుడు తెలుసుకుందాం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ డాక్టర్ జి అంబేద్కర్ గారు. సారు చక్కగా వివరించారు న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్స్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ అండ్ సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ పైన. న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్స్ డిప్లీట్ ఎలా అవుతున్నాయి, నగరీకరణ, డీఫారెస్టైజేషన్, ఇండస్ట్రియలైజేషన్ అండ్ ఓవర్ పాపులేషన్ గ్రోత్, ఇవన్నీ న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్స్ డిప్లీట్ అవ్వడానికి ప్రధాన కారణాలుగా సారు చూపించాడు. అండ్ సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ గురించి కూడా చాలా చక్కగా వివరించారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. Now I would like to briefly introduce our subject expert, Professor Srinagesh sir. Welcome to the session, sir. Professor B. Srinagesh sir, Senior Professor in the Department of Geography. Sir currently Board of Studies in the Department of Geography, Osmania University. Sir, former head of the Department Geography in the same Osmania University. Sir is known for his teaching and research and administrative roles in the university in the state of Telangana. Most of the students and scholars knows about his abilities, about his academic and administrative leadership qualities. Sir, former controller of examination, Osmania University, and he held the position of director UGC HRDC, Osmania University, and Sir coordinator for the Telangana state set examination also. Sir completed 5 projects under UGC, DST, ICSSR and CSIR. Professor Srinagesh attended many national and international conferences and organized international conferences also. Sir published more than 47 research papers in various national and international journals. Sir had more than 25 years of academic teaching and research experience in the field of geography. Sir mostly focused research areas are urban geography, climate change, GIS, health geography. I think Sir is very apt for this teleconference because we are facing so many natural man-made natural disasters today. So this teleconference aptly suitable for Sir expertise. Sir, we are welcoming you for this session, sir.
Yeah. So very good afternoon to one and all. Dear students, before starting our session, I would like to ask one question to you. Just imagine without resources, what would be the life of the human beings? So, that is the first question I would like to ask you, because we have to think about the resources that the nature has given to us. So, if you look at the given circumstances, nature has given us the resources in abundance actually, but what has actually happened is that it has given in abundance to satisfy the needs of the human beings. But over a period of time, especially if you look at the evolution of the industrial era, this industrial revolution has actually created a lot of what you call a greed among the human beings, because earlier, before industrial era, people used to have a sustained life, like what we call sustainability or what we call sustained life, that whatever the needs they wanted, they used to grow crops, or they used to take intake used to be that way. But after industrial revolution, there has been a lot of changes in terms of what you call the occupation of human beings. So, from the sedentary agriculture type of occupation, they have moved on to the what you call the urban aspect or industrial lifestyle. So, here the industries have without the what you call interference of human beings, the industries they have started producing what you call the products, started the products in excess. So, this has slowly led to the what we call the greed of human beings in terms of the resource extraction of the resources from the nature. So, here if you look at the natural resources that are found on the earth, mainly in terms of renewable and non-renewable resources. In terms of renewable resources, we can easily say that these are the resources which can be used over and over again without replenishing or without exhausting. For example, if you take solar energy, if you take hydroelectricity, if you take wind energy, if you take geothermal energy, and also the biomass, these are some of the classical examples of renewable energy which does not get exhausted, because they are there, they are renewed every day, every time. But when it comes to the non-renewable resources, these are the resources which are used at only one given point of time, like the example of fossil fuels. Today we are seeing that the world itself is shifting from consumption of fossil fuel to the what you call alternative energies. So, these fossil fuels, if you burn like the petroleum, natural gas, coal, etc., if you burn once, it is exhausted and we cannot renew it, because if you see in terms of geographical aspect or geological aspect, these resources were found millions and billions of years ago, and those minerals we are now extracting and we are using to our own benefit or to satisfy our own needs. So, these resources, they are not renewable, they cannot be what you call
made again, they cannot be created again. So, apart from that, if you take
resources like what you call mineral resources like iron, copper, gold, silver, etc., if they are once extracted, again it cannot be found, because when we look at the availability of resources across the globe, it is highly uneven. And if you take the Indian context, in India also all the resources are not found across, or what we call spatially they are not found. If you see the mineral resource belt, we see that coal and iron ore, etc., they are found in the Chota Nagpur plateau region, and also in some parts of the other states where they have a kind of based on the grading of the minerals that are found, the resources are very limited. But what actually we have done is that, not specifically we the Indians, but before independence, the Britishers have exploited the major mineral resources of the country, and they have exported to the western region, basically the European countries. So, these resources which were very precious and which was very important to the development of India, they have been exported for since the industrial revolution that has started, and the colonial ruled by the British, they have extracted and they have exported the important minerals for the development of their region. So, to get again the resources, it is highly impossible. And if you go for further classification of the resources, we have the resources like land resources, water resources, air resources also, and also the biodiversity. And in that biodiversity, we can clearly demarcate between the flora and fauna. So, when it comes to the land resources, today we can see that there is a lot of stress and strain on land, because as we have been moving, if you take the population as the criteria, the development of the cities, the growth of the cities that have been taking place, to be frankly, since last century, it is enormous, and the population growth which is there, it is increasing in an exponential manner. And this exponential manner, and the growth of population and the static resources of the land resources, they are not matching the growth of the population growth. So, this actually is causing a lot of stress on the land resources, especially the soil, because for our survival, we are actually exploring and expanding ourselves beyond the limits of the given area. Like as the cities are growing, all the agricultural land, forest land, and other grasslands, etc., they have been cleared for the settlement pattern. So, this stress on land resources is highly experienced in a country like India. So, if you take that take an example of the soil resources, where the depletion of soil resources which is taking place, especially in the highly agriculture productive regions, states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, etc. If you take the case of Punjab, the fertile soils, because the land itself is known as the land of 5 rivers. So, this Punjab region is experiencing a very complex and critical situation in the present given scenario. So, here if you look at the Punjab case, the implementation of the Green Revolution in the 1960s, this has yielded, actually if you look at the condition of the agriculture produce or agriculture production from 60s to current situation, the introduction of the high yield variety of seeds, and also the fertilizers and pesticides, it has given, no doubt it has given enormous growth in the crop production, but the consequences of those implementation, now they are facing. The land has become, I would say that due to the salinization, the land has become redundant, and it is out of, it is not useful for the production of any agricultural crop. And moreover, the crop that is being produced in those region, it recently a study has found that the produce, the crop which is being grown in that region, it is leading to the cancer, which is very, it is a very serious concern for the human beings, because without thought of anything, we consume the food products that are being produced. But unfortunately, the research has found that the production that is being done in the Punjab and Haryana region, they are they are prone to the cancer effect. This is the negative effect of what you call the development or the growth that actually is happening. And if you take the water resource as another example for the natural resource management, as we all know that only 2% of fresh water we have on the earth, though the water covers around 71% of the total area, but we have only 2% of fresh water for the consumption, as what we say the potable water. So, here if we look at the given circumstances in the given situation, the population of the world till 19th century, it was almost all about 6 billion population, but now as we see, it has crossed more than 8 billions of population. So, to satisfy, because the natural, the water resources which are there, they are the static, that is 2% of water resource is only available, but catering to the need of this 8 billion population is always a challenge. And I would say that in the present situation, this water resource management is very important and very crucial for survival of human being. If you take one example here, in the 10 to 12 years back, the city of Johannesburg in South Africa, it has been dried up. I mean, there was no water source available, either groundwater or surface water was available, and entire city was in chaotic situation. So, and if you see the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, the people were given supplied water through the trains to that region because of the what we call no rainfall and drying up of all the water resources, be it surface or the groundwater. So, when it comes to the what I mean to say is that the water resources is very crucial for the survival of human being. And if you take another example, 2 years back, the government of India has taken an initiative known as Year of Millet. They tried to insist that millet be produced because the reason is that it consumes less water for the growth. So, because as we all know that South India, the rice is the main staple food, staple crop, and this production of this rice requires lot of water. So, to go for the alternative source of food production, the government has it has understood the gravity of the problem in the future, and it has tried to emphasize on the need for the consumption of alternate food crops, and it has declared 2023 as the year of what you call the millet, year of millet. So, stressing on the importance for the need for the alternative crops, and also the protecting of the water resources and the land resources. And you might have seen that one of the spiritual guru, he himself also has started a campaign known as Save Soil. So, it was a kind of a what you call a campaign where the people were informed about the importance of protection of the soil. So, similarly, if you look at the air resources, people might be thinking what is air resources. As we have seen that the air has chemical composition. In air we have different types of chemical composition like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc., etc. So, in this actually what we see today, if you see the case of Delhi, the air pollution levels have crossed beyond the what is permissible limits of the what we call the 330 ppm, which is the maximum permissible limit for any given area. But today what we have seen is that it has reached to the more than critical condition of more than 420 ppm in ppm parts per particulate matter into the air. So, the oxygen levels of oxygen, the levels of oxygen that has to be there for a normal man, or what we call as breathable oxygen, that is missing in the major cities. And also if you see the aspect of the impact of this pollution, we have seen that during 70s, from the 70s, right from the Montreal Protocol to where we have seen that the earth has been warming up. So, what was the cause for this warming up? It was due to the man-made or Anthropocene causes, where we have seen that due to the industrial pollution, there has been a thin layer that has been formed in the form of the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide as a cloud, which actually was stopping the outgoing radiation, because as we all know that the sun is the only source of energy for the earth, and the energy that we receive, it has to be reflected back. But unfortunately what is happening here is that this cloud that has been pollution is stopping this what you call the outgoing insolation or outgoing radiation, thereby it has created the global warming, and this global warming has created the climate change, and today we are experiencing the extremes of climate. And in that aspect, the air pollution, the air resources which are there, they are more important because they support the life on the earth, and they support the life through what we call as the provision of the oxygen. And we have seen in many of the cases where we see that in ponds and lakes, suddenly one fine day the fishes are found floating, dead floating. So the reason is that it means that the lake or the pond that where the fishes have been found dead, that the oxygen is absent in that lake or pond. So you can imagine the kind of pollution that is being created by human being, and it is the necessity for us to protect ourselves from the harmful chemical effluents which we ourselves are releasing for our own growth. So when it comes to the biodiversity, this is the most important aspect where man needs to understand in the natural resource management. The first and foremost thing is the flora or the forest which we call, because if you see the conditions that actually are prevalent here, if you see the map of the South America or the Latin America, where we find that, as we all know, that the Amazon forest are the lung spaces for the earth. But unfortunately, the deforestation that has been going on since last, I would say, I have quoted like 88 to 2019, where the level of the deforestation that has taken place. So you can imagine, because the trees that actually inhale the carbon dioxide and exhale the oxygen, now if those trees are not there, what would be the situation across the globe, we can imagine. So here the forests are very crucial for our survival, not only human beings but all other living species that dwell in these forests. And if you take the case of India and also the neighboring countries of our country, we see that the if you take the percentage of the forest cover that actually holds, the India holds is 2% of the total world forest. If this 2% of forest that decreases over a period of time, we can imagine what kind of biodiversity loss we have. We can actually it is beyond anyone's imagination. And if you look at the given slide where the projected population and the resource demands by 2050, we can see that the resources are depleting, whereas the population is ever increasing. So this aspect is very crucial for the protection of the forest. And at the same time, because if you look at the forest, as we all know that the forest depend upon the latitudinal extent. At the equator, we have the what we call as the equatorial forest or tropical rainforest, which are evergreen forest. And the Amazon region has this forest, evergreen forest, where we have a canopy type of forest layer is available. As we go up right from 0 degrees to the above 45 degrees to 60 degrees, we find different types of forest. If you take from equatorial to subtropical, where we find the what we call as deciduous forest, and as you move up, we get the pine forest or coniferous forest till the 60 degrees north latitudes, and in some cases to the south also, where especially in South America and Australia. So the availability of different types of forest at given latitudes also determine the livelihood. Determines the livelihood of the people. So if you take the case of Canada, the major part of the Canada dependent on the lumbering, where they cut the forest and they they export the goods, forest produce. So if that thing is gone, I think the sustainability, the livelihood itself is at stake in majority of the places. So the direct link of this forest is to the fauna where we call as animal resources, and these animal resources, because in a biodiversity in a given ecosystem, there is a life cycle, what we call it as, where the herbivorous, carnivorous and omnivorous type of varieties are there, where they actually balance the ecosystem. But if this ecosystem is disturbed, the entire life cycle is disturbed, and this is what actually we have seen since 19th century. Many of the species have become extinct and many are on the verge of extinct. I would like to quote here one example, that is the polar bear. Polar bear is almost labeled as about to extinct, the animals that are about to get extinct. So these are, why extinct means because of the global warming and the climate change. These animals and the melting of the glaciers and the snow fields, these animals, especially the polar bears, they are finding it difficult to survive. And if this continues, I think it will be I would say that most the unfortunate thing to lose these precious animals. So if we actually take the different aspects of the natural resources, we can give them a kind of a categories like the global level natural resource management, national level, regional level and also the local level, because it is not a concern of one government or one person concern. It is the entire humanity that has to come forward for the protection of these natural resources. So here, when we talk about the global level resource management, there have been, as I said in the earlier, that the Montreal Protocol and the Ramsar Conventions, these were actually the eye openers for the entire world. But I would say that during that time, the country like India, which was ignorant, because we were not part of that growth that the Western the European countries that have been experienced, because soon after independence, we were in our own ways of developing. And during this time, when these conventions, that is the Ramsar Convention and the Montreal Protocol, that 69 and 70, they actually have identified that the earth was warming up, and to stop this warming up further, they have started these protocols, convention, etc. So here, when a country like a more populated country like India, which was actually out of the I would say that box regarding these climate change and global warming, but unfortunately what we see today is that India is the most populated country. And this with the economic growth, India is the most populated country, and apart from it is the fourth largest economic I would say fourth largest economic country, where it is growing at a faster rate than anticipated. So here the purchase capacity of each individual has been increasing, and this purchase capacity in terms of what we call as automobiles like cars, vehicles, etc., they have also increased. So I would say that the output or what outcome of this is the economic growth is nothing but the adding of the pollution or pollutants to the environment, and that is what the Delhi it is actually experiencing in the present situation. So
కాలర్ లైన్లో ఉన్నారు ఇప్పుడు. హలో
Can I talk to Professor Srinagesh?
Yes sir, sir is in studio, you can talk to.
Hello.
Yes sir.
Yeah,
Professor Nagesh garu.
Sir, చెప్పండి sir.
Here you said that there is a enormous increase in the production of agriculture by using pesticides and advanced methods. Suppose to this population, in your lecture you said there is enormous growth in hello.
Yes sir, I am listening sir.
An enormous growth in the population. So according to population, we have increased the production of the agriculture products to suit minimum and therefore to meet the hunger or poverty. We have used that. Is there any alternate method to see that the pesticides and these chemical fertilizers are reduced and shift to organic, can we meet the demand of the public as far the production is concerned?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, your question is apt, sir. But as on today, the when you talk about the food security, we are on a comfortable side, sir. But unfortunately, what is happening is that, sir, the when we take the case of Sri Lanka, the crisis in Sri Lanka was because they have shifted. I mean, it can be managed. It could have been managed, but they have suddenly shifted from the use of high yield varieties to the organic farming. So this has actually created a lot of shortage of food production in that country. But as far as concerned to Indian context, I think as we also see today that many of the people, they are into the organic production of organic foods.
Hello.
So, hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, now audible.
Yeah. So as of now, many of people are shifting to the organic production of the foods. But the yield, which is what we are talking about, that yield is it would be definitely less compared to what we use the high yielding variety of the seeds. So there is the research that is going on for the production of high yield variety of seeds through the organic farming, but I think it will take a time because the growth of population that is there, it is exponential, and the growth of food production is meeting the needs of the demands on a regular basis rather than the high production, because we whatever the excess we produce, we actually export because the economy that has to run. So apart from the export of the food production, we have our own reserves for the any unforeseen emergencies. Like if you see in the case of floods, or in the case of what we call natural disaster that occur. So during that time, to meet those emergency situations, we have enough storage of the food. But the shift from the present context to the organic farming, I would definitely say that it will be counterproductive.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your clarification, sir. And I have a doubt, sir. Why do we need to manage natural resources, sir, instead of using them freely?
Yeah. I mean, it is actually, I said in the beginning that the greed of man has actually depleted the resources. So here it is not necessary that whatever comes freely we have to utilize it, but we need to always keep in mind that whatever the resources are there, we need to use for our own satisfaction in a limited way. Because the future generations who are going to be there, we have to share that resources with them as well, and that is what the sustainable development concept is itself, because optimum utilization of the resources is the need of the hour. And I would say that unfortunately, unmindful of the consequences, we have extracted and we have been extracting the mineral resources, and we have been exploiting the natural resources like forest produce, forest products, etc. to I would say beyond control. So there is definitely a need for the optimum utilization of the resources which actually are available freely.
Hello. Welcome to the teleconference.
Question to Professor Nagesh, please.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, as just now I spoke to you and you clarified, one of my main point is, can we have any substitution for agriculture products, because as every country nowadays to preserve resources, they are following substitution and conservation. Is that applicable? Can we apply here in the agriculture products? And you are referring as a millet of the year, which Indian government has taken up.
Yes.
Is it the policy under substitution?
To some extent, sir, because the government tried to actually appraise people, tell people that the resources which are there, which are being depleted, and there is a the need to go for an alternative food crops, because as we all know that the country itself is a diversified country with different what you call type of cultures and intake of food. If you take South India, we have rice as the staple food, and if you go to North India, the wheat is the main staple main food is the wheat is the main staple food. So to educate people, government is slowly making them understand the importance of going for an alternative food. I think if the initiation of government taken through different as I have told you at different levels, national level, regional level, and local level,
Hello.
Hello, Yakesh sir.
Hello.
So
Continue, sir.
the alternative government is actually insisting and initiating to go for an alternative intake of food that actually is the need of the hour. So a country like India with more than 1.4 billion population, it is challenging. But if everyone comes together and joins hand, definitely we can move ahead, because ultimately it is the survival that matters the most. So here the things which we see, we look at India, because when we look at the Western countries, they are totally different from the what a country like India is, because in India the only major challenge is the population, and in other countries the advantage is the population.
Okay. One more caller, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
the geography student, sir.
Okay.
So I want to ask one question, sir. So my question is, what are the environmental impacts of deforestation, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, just now I have told you, the deforestation is one of the, I would say, most unfortunate thing that is happening across the globe. I would say not only in India. If, as I said, the trees are the lung spaces of the globe itself, because they give us the oxygen and they take the carbon dioxide. So here, if we reduce the, if you go for the deforestation, the availability of oxygen itself is it will become a questionable, and the presence of carbon dioxide in the air, it will definitely have impact on all the living species that are there on the earth. So here the deforestation is the most unfortunate thing, and its impact, as we have as I said, that it impacts the climate change, and this climate change, it impacts the global warming. It increases the global warming, and it has the what you call the consequences of this global warming is on the climate change. So as we say, as we have seen that the government of India and the government of Telangana, they have taken initiative for reforestation, because they wanted to grow the trees so that the impact of this global warming and the climate change can be minimized compared to what the destruction that has been done. So there are a lot of issues when we go for the deforestation. As I told you, that the loss of biodiversity in terms of the cutting of trees is one aspect, and we are pushing the animals to the far off places, and also the conservation of soil, and the in terms of agriculture or in terms of forest areas which are very fertile lands, we are converting them into the settlement regions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir clearly mentioned alternative food crops which requires less resources, like millets are alternative for the more resource taking crops like wheat and rice. And for deforestation also, sir given a logical conclusion how we can the impacts and how can we counter the deforestation also. Sir, I have a doubt, sir. What is the relationship between the natural resource management and sustainable development? How sustainable development can be attained with the natural resource management, sir?
So as I said in the in the beginning of this session, the nature has given us the resources, whatever resources we call, in abundance. or to satisfy the need of the human beings. But unfortunately, we have actually, exploited these resources which are beyond now our control. So these resources, to sustain, to manage these resources, we have to use the resources sustainably, or what we call as the optimum utilization of the resources. Because here, if you see in the sustainable for the sustainable development, the utility of the resources is very critical and crucial. So if you look at the sustainable concept, it is basically of what you call as it is based on the three pillars, that is economic growth, as well as the environmental sustainability and the what you call social sustainability. So these three, when we look at these pillars, each one is linked to each other. Okay, so here when we talk about these aspects of sustainability, we need to use the resources so that the same resources can be utilized by the future generation. As I said, the resources, non-renewable resources, they are not, we cannot produce again. Once we use, they are finished. So here the utility of the resources, and as I said, the utility, for example, the fossil fuels, once we burn, we cannot reproduce again until unless we find in another area. As we see today in the case of in the geopolitics of Greenland, the America wants to take over Greenland because of the availability of the natural resources. So here the entire world is governed by these natural resources. So keeping that in view, we need to use these resources very sustainably. And the concept of sustainability says that the optimum utilization, having what we want in a limited manner, and at the same time protecting the future generation needs, which are very essential.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your insightful teleconference lecture, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Most of the important points are covered. Pre and post independence exploitation, how resources are exploited pre and post independence, and Punjab groundwater depletion, and how green revolution affected the environment and health of the Indian citizens. And 0 day, he explained 0 day in the Johannesburg, how water depleted. Without water they lived for the 0 day. And water resource management, Johannesburg 0 day. And what happened in India also, sir clearly explained how water is important, how water trains are transported to Vidarbha, Chennai, Bangalore regions. And sir also explained bottom to top approach is needed for this resource management for sustainable development. Sir also mentioned how spiritual gurus are actively engaged in mobilizing the people to save soil, Kaveri calling, how these movements are making the citizens to participate in these movements to save the resources. How Montreal international level, sir also spoke about Montreal Protocol, how greenhouse gases affecting the environment. And one more call is there. Hello.
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 Yes. Hello.
Hello. Sir, tell me, sir.
Here, sir, this sustainable development goals. There are so many goals in sustainable development.
Okay.
But you have referred to the climate action and climate change and clean water and sanitation.
Okay.
Can this sustainable development is related to poverty?
Yes, sir. Our expert will answer you. Sir, please, sir.
Sir, it is not only related to poverty, because definitely whatever we have spoken till now, the utility of the resources is for all. But unfortunately, if we see as I said, on the global scale, if you see the sub-Saharan states, they are very we are in the abject poverty because of the non-availability of the resources. In the beginning itself, I have told that the resources are not equally distributed. So, this actually the soil is also not equally distributed in terms of fertility of soil. So, here we see that the whatever the SDGs that have been mentioned, that is 17 SDG goals that have been there, if you see the 1 and 2, zero hunger and also the poverty, no poverty. So, this actually tells us that there is a need to sustain ourselves in terms of utility of the resources, because there are people where who doesn't even have one potable of water to have, and also one square meal in any given point of time. So, to reach those regions also in the present context across the globe, whoever is there, they actually are trying to see that each and every person across the globe should have the equal rights in terms of the utility of the resources. So, in this context, I would say that the poverty is one aspect. Apart from that, whatever the other that is climate action and clean and green energy, as well as the water, etc.
Hello.
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 Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, one more question.
Okay.
Hello.
Sir.
Mute your phone, sir.
Yes. Sir.
Sir.
Because now you have cleared about the sustainable goals, but what I feel is, now you are saying this, all this can be achieved by the all 17 points you said. I feel this quality education, because nowadays education is also very important as far the sustainable development is concerned. In that quality education, is it not right on the part of the geography or environmentalist and geologist to clear and say the government, it's a time for you to introduce in UG also this environmental science as a part, so that in order to know all this part, because the sustainable development is not anybody's one subject.
Yes.
Why can't we recommend at the national level as well as state level, wherever you represent, to see that the sustainable goals and environment science also can be introduced at UG and PG level?
Definitely, sir, because I really appreciate your concern, sir. As the NEP 2020, if you see the NEP guidelines, sir, they have come up with varied ideas where an institution can have its own course. So, to meet the needs of the students, they have given different kinds of system for their educational attainment. So, in this aspect, environmental studies was I would say that it was not in the main core course, but now many of the institutes, they are specialized courses like MSc Environmental Science, and also in undergraduate level they are introducing these courses, environmental studies and environmental aspects. And as you said that sustainable development aspect also, some of the institutes, they are actually they have institute and they have their own courses, but having 17 goals in given what you call whatever the course, either it is undergraduate or postgraduate, it will definitely go a long way, and it will give more I would say that idea to the students as well as to the society regarding the sustainable development goals.
Thank you, sir. Sir clearly explained that poverty is a part and parcel of prior MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, and again in 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Poverty is a part and parcel. Sir clearly explained it. And about the education, the caller asked about the education part and awareness part. The earth and environment education is most important. Sir clearly stating that one of the goal in the Sustainable Development Goals also the cooperation among the institutions also needed. So, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your valuable information, sir. As we conclude today teleconference on natural resource management and sustainable development for the UG third year 6th semester geography, on behalf of the Department of Earth and Environment Science, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, I extend my heartful thanks to all who made this program success, starting from subject experts Professor, Senior Professor Sri B. Srinagesh sir and Assistant Professor Dr. G. Ambedkar, and with the help of our department head Dr. S. V. Rajashekar Reddy sir and EMRCC staff. Thank you EMRCC staff and the students who actively participated, and you have interacted with the subject experts. Thank you very much.
Hi students, welcome